Alright, in this unit we are doing area unit conversions. So we've had a look at, say, linear measurements like our centimetres or our metres, and they're just straight line measurements. But now we have to look at things that are covering areas. So we're looking at more of a 2D thing. So looking at units that cover the insides of 2D objects. Now they're the kinds of units that we're looking at: our square millimetres, our squared centimetres, our square metres, our square kilometres, and then later on our hectares. Now we're used to looking at it like millimetres squared, but we actually say it square millimetres. It doesn't really matter so much, but when we say it out loud, square millimetres. Alright, we've gone from looking at just these straight line ones to things that are inside different shapes. So if we look at that, say that's 1 centimetre. If this is 1 centimetre from here to here, and this is 1 centimetre from here to here, we've got 1 square centimetre. And we've got to figure out how many square millimetres are in that square centimetre. We know that 1 centimetre across has these 10 little millimetres across. So every single one of those that becomes a little square, it's got 10 across this way and 10 across that way, which means this, if we broke this centimetre up into tiny little square millimetres, we'd have 10 by 10, which is 100. So when we go between this square millimetres and square centimetres, our magic number is 100. If we go between centimetres and 1 metre, if we talk about this being 1 metre, and it's got 100 centimetres all the way along here, and 100 centimetres all the way here, then we've got 100 by 100, which is actually 10,000. So suddenly our numbers are getting really big. If we say kilometres, if this is our 1 kilometre, and we've got another kilometre that goes this way for our square kilometre, and we've got 1,000 metres in each kilometre, suddenly we're doing 1,000 times 1,000, and our magic number in here is 1 million. Right? We've gone from having quite simple small numbers to using quite large ones, and that's going to become quite challenging. So we need to have a look at the pattern here. We've got 2, 4, and 6 zeros, right? So you can still see the pattern. And what this actually is 10 squared, 10, we'll keep going like that. We'll worry about this another day. Okay, so if we are going from a small unit of measurement to a bigger unit of measurement, then what we have to think about is, how do I convert that? We know we're going to use this number, right? We know we're going to use the 100 here. Just going to change pens. And we're going to use the 10,000 here. And the million here, right? Really big numbers. But what operation are we going to do? If we are going from a unit that is small to a unit that is big, so on this side of the graph, that is when we are using our divide sign. And all of these will be that divide sign. If we go the other way and we go from a bigger unit of measurement to a smaller unit of measurement, that is when we are using our times sign. Okay. Now we'll have a look over here, because this has an extra kind of measurement in it, and that's hectare. Now a hectare is 10,000 square metres. That's a particular type of measurement. We know that a square kilometre is actually 1 million square metres, but we aren't really going to measure too much stuff in square kilometres. So we use this more often than we would use square kilometres. So we need to know how to convert between square metres and the hectares, and hectares in square kilometres, right? Now, there are 10,000 square metres in a hectare, but there's only 100 hectares in that square kilometre. So once again, if we go from a smaller unit to a bigger unit, we are going to divide by this number, divide, and times over here, and times over here. So you can see this is starting to get quite big, and that means it's going to get a bit trickier, but understanding that if we're using those square units, we're thinking in a more 2D shape this time, all right? The area that's filling in that 2D shape.